fun.
Hello.
That was it. I'm done.
Hello.
Hello. It's us.
Grandmama, it's me, Anastasia.
We are
We
live.
must stop meeting like this. I'm a married woman.
No, never.
All right then. Wow. I didn't realize that for some reason the tab that had the stream on it was unmuted, and I was trying to figure out why I was hearing everything suddenly in triplicate. That was surreal. Because
the third
apparently
one?
I had double clicked. So I didn't have the stream open in one tab unmuted. I had it in two tabs unmuted, and they were both slightly out of sync.
Real magic. Hey, Chanson,
Sorry,
how are
everybody.
you this week?
Me, I'm annoyed that I'm only coming through one ear, given that I
right.
have messed with sound so much that I should be coming through all of the ears. All of them simultaneously.
All ears.
Definitely the correct number that people are supposed to have.
Oh, I wasn't gonna. Look, I'm not about to, you know.
We try not to be specific like that.
Yeah, I don't want to insult anyone, but all of the ears. So you do?
I don't know. I didn't mean that. I'm sorry, everybody.
Yeah, maybe you should be. Maybe you should be.
I am. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that'll have to be the end of the stream then. So
Yeah.
bye, everyone.
Yeah, bye.
I was mean and
You-
I did bad, and I'm sorry. That's it. That's it for me.
Yeah, we're not leaving because Danny was mean. We're leaving because if you can't hear Shawnee through both your ears, what's the point?
What's the point?
Wait.
What's the point?
I ask myself that every day. Yeah.
Living in America.
You can't hear
Should
me
I do
through-
this? Will you hear Shawnee through both ears while doing it? No. Then the fuck are you doing?
What's the point? What's the point? What's the point of any of this?
Thank you. That's all.
I'm good. I someone asked me how I was like 5 minutes ago.
What have you been up to this week,
Oh, it was
Chanson?
2 minutes ago. That's fine.
We're burning budget here. Come on, folks.
Sorry, budget. We have a budget? Can I have
Yes,
it?
for time.
Oh,
I had to.
yeah, no, I don't
Stage
have that either.
manager.
I had the finale of the Monster Hearts game that I play in this week, Gehenna Academy, and we have a Q&A next week, which will be fun.
Oh.
That I'm excited for because I have questions. I have questions, and there'll be teasers for the next season because we're playing another season.
Yay! That's
Yeah,
good
we got another
news.
season.
Awesome.
I have gin. In case anyone wondered, this is what this is. It's gin.
Emergency gin supply. Yep.
As you do.
My-
Emotional support gin.
My 10:15 a.m. gin.
The 10:15 a.m. gin.
I don't.
You have. I mean, I also have water. I'm not excluded. Anyway,
Not all gin.
not all gin. If you want to know anything about me that is not about me being here, I have a link tree on my Twitter account, which just kind of tells you everything that I'm doing. I have some podcasts. I have some games coming up. I was trying to explain to someone the other day what I'm like, why I'm so busy, or why I'm everywhere that's not here, or like just anywhere that was talking to them. And I was like, yeah, I play 3 to 4 games in a week, and I'm fairly sure I've got a 5th and a 6th that I'm prepping, and I'm planning a season 2 on at least one of those.
Wow.
So, and and I work.
And I
That's
have a
that's
job.
including work or a doctorate. So, you know, today I'm in a dress shirt. So that's that. Like, that's me. Yeah. Someone else. Everyone has
Your
ADHD.
turn, Danny.
One of you. Anyone.
My turn.
Save me.
Yep.
I'm Danny. I do voices and also in-person acting back when that was a thing in the times of old.
The times of yore.
As As for now, it's mostly digital stuff. I play games. I am playing in one of the aforementioned Monster Hearts games, but perhaps not the one that Shani was talking about. It's a different one. Sam was also there. It gives me a lot of feelings, and I am very excited to play it again. There's a dog on my lap, so if I randomly type into chat, that's him. Because my dog is a cat, and that's what I'm going to say about myself today.
My dog is a cat. Danny.
Explains why your chat's been so hurtful.
I'm just going to say yes.
Wellington.
Carpet
Trying
otter.
to hurt your feelings.
You lifted him and
Carpet
he winked at us.
Carpet otters.
I feel I've just been seduced by a dog, but okay.
He's a very handsome dog, to be
I
fair.
try not to yuck anybody's yum, but
Oh my. Wellington. You minx.
Wellington, please.
I'm a married person. Sam.
I am also was on one of the aforementioned.
I miss you. I miss you, baby.
I'm not allowed back. That's not true.
No, I've very specifically said something to the contrary.
I think very specifically they were like, so you're coming back for season 2, right, though?
We were promised that you were coming back, so...
I have high suspicions that we're kind of going to need you back for a couple of episodes.
It's in my writer, actually, so you have to come back.
You guys get writers?
Yeah.
Look, I was asked to make a character that everyone else would fall in love with. I did just no one specified player or character, so I did both.
When I first saw your character, I was thinking Southern Fried Fae was where you were going with it, but when it turned out to be Succubus, that was just. I actually went back and skimmed through the book and said, there ain't one of those in the book, so this is going to be interesting.
When I was talking to, I think I talked about it on the show, but when I was talking to Chantel about like coming on, I was like, yeah, I was quite tired at the time, and I was like, yeah, I've looked over all the various character options, and I have some ideas. And Chantel was like, you mean the ones in the book or like all of them? And I went, what? And then I was just linked to a bunch of others, and I was like, look, I am far too tired to be going through them and actually having cognizant thought. Let's do it anyway.
Yeah.
And then
3 hours later.
Like,
Oh my.
got the Succubus and was like, all right, what do they do? And then just read the first few lines and went, oh, that's going to be hard to say no to. That is,
well,
that
point.
is a hand grenade just to draw in the middle. And I joked that the only other one that was contender was the neighbor, except that the neighbor, while being the exact opposite, would have also been me, but more attractive and with worse eyesight, which, as I said, I just didn't want to play as my brother.
No.
I sent him that. I sent him that clip, and he was like, I was wearing my glasses at the time as well. But that's been a lot of fun. Speaking of like in-person stuff, I had an audition yesterday in person. There was another person there.
Ooh.
It was bizarre, but also I was just like, it's one thing to like record an audition, be like, man, yeah, I like that, and sending it off, because then you just, all right, but actually sitting across the table from someone going, yeah, this is going really well, and then the guy being like, oh, and then writing a bunch of stuff and be like, yeah, good. And then like as I was leaving, I overheard someone going, so how did they do it? And the guy's like, really strong, yeah. And I was like, yeah, this is immediate feedback. This is great.
Oh man, not 3 to 5 business days. What is that even anymore?
Do you mean what you mean is wait 6 months, find out that someone else is playing the role, and go, didn't get it then.
Yep.
See the production, see the production photographs and go,
yeah.
Okay.
3 to 5 business weeks if you're lucky. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of those are like, you see who got the role, and you're like, oh, I was not even a contender. Oh, that's what you wanted? No, that's not.
Oh, is that what you were looking for?
Oh, so why was
okay.
I in the room?
I went for a host for a TV show thing, and then someone I know was in like the top 3, and they were talking about who else was there, and I was like, oh, I was never even remotely close if that is who got into the top 3. Like that's, I don't have a problem because I could not have done that. That's fine.
You guys
We're
can
good.
have
Don't
this
worry
one.
about it.
Bye.
But yeah,
Yeah.
you can check out my Twitter. It's on the screen, the _RealSammy, and maybe I'll post some stuff if the audition was as good as I thought it was.
Awesome.
Jamie.
Oh, that's me.
It is.
I'm Jamie.
Yeah, it's you.
Yeah, it's you.
I'm Jamie. You can find me on Twitter at Muffin Manifesto, or on my website jamie-collette.com. I'm a professional voice actor and director. And speaking of directing, the Richard III that I directed at the end of last year is now on sale as part of a bundle. If you like being entertained in your living room, you can get access to 4 fully rehearsed Shakespearean plays for the low price of like 20 Australian dollars, which is like, I don't know, 5 pence.
$16 or so in the US.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. We have good monies right
We
now.
have a strong exchange at the moment.
Strong
I'll
money.
have to.
Strong money.
I'll have to let a few friends in the SCA know that they will be all over that.
Yeah, shop
Yeah.
around. You can't beat those prices.
You can't.
That's true. And I'm also like in the other one, so it's lots of me.
So if you'd
That's
like
not a
lots
bad
of
thing.
Jamie, just give him a
We all
call.
do.
Oh man.
Hi.
Nice.
Yeah, something like that, KJ. The Canadian dollar and the Aussie dollar are
Very
wobble
similar.
within about 10% of each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Michelle. Hi.
Hey, how
Okay.
you doing? So you can check me out on Twitter, MichelleV69, as it says on the screen, and also at my website, michellervalancourt.com, or if you prefer the French, michellervalancourt.com. I'm an author as well. I've got some novels out on Amazon. One of them was actually a bestseller, which I thought was kind of fancy. And then what else is going on? Oh yeah, I just started a Patreon, $5 Dungeons. I realized that my creativity was getting in the way of my creativity, so I decided to do something creative with my creativity, and that's where $5 Dungeons comes from.
That
So
sounds
check
like a
that
me
out
response.
Well, literally what I was doing was realizing, like for my live streams and stuff, is I had something I wanted to work on, but it wasn't related to any of the games I ref. I'm refing 3 games and playing in one other. And so there was just this awkward kind of, but I want to do the shiny thing, but the other thing needs doing. But I want to do the shiny thing, but the other thing needs doing. So I wouldn't do either. So I've given myself a creative space under this idea that at least once a month I have to go do the shiny thing, because that's literally what people are now paying me for. So I've got I've got a few people supporting me already, which is fantastic.
Nice.
And that's me.
Sweet. Let's go to the intro so then we can see how entertaining things are for Spider.
Starting the story.
To the intro.
And we are back. We have
Hello.
returned.
Hey, yes, indeed. Alrighty then. So, the scene will be opening in the up of stairs at the staggering clock, with a very happy-looking Spider wandering back from his visit to the town, specifically the Founders District, where he had some time to, amongst other things, get to see the apparent likeness of his grandfather. Well, not apparent; it's exactly who it is, but it was just sort of a having some time to do some reflection on recent events and what have you, was in a pretty good mood until he wandered back to the inn.
he was in that square for a while, stuck to the corner like a street light.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, that's gonna be stuck in my head all day. Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you.
Oh, you missed that.
You
part
missed
of
that
the
that,
pre-show.
that part of the yeah. I told Jamie that you'd made me watch In the Heights, and so Jamie just said,
Force.
Jamie just said, guess what?
Oh, I'm just gonna throw as many references to the show into the episode as I can.
Oh my God. I'm excited.
God.
I know every word, so let's go. Let's do it.
Bring it on, she says.
That's all right.
Jamie,
I
just
haven't
as
seen it.
Jamie, just by the way, the map was rearranged, and
awesome.
there's been a couple of minor wiggles to it. So the Founders Quarter and the Caravan Gate literally got switched in position because once I got the map rearranged so it actually matched the continental level, I realized that it actually made more sense to have it built the way it is now. So there's been a couple of minor changes, but nothing substantial. That was discussed last week.
Yeah.
But yeah. I'm going to be slowly developing the various districts and adding detail to them, but right now this gives you this gets you enough information that we can at least talk about whereabouts you're wandering around, right?
Oh, okay, yeah. So the Founders. Oh, because we also reoriented the map. Hey.
Yes, literally,
yeah.
the map was the map was functionally out by 180 degrees in terms of the orientation of the rivers and everything else. So I sat down for a few minutes, stared at the original copy of it, and said, "So what do I do with this?" And then tidied it up so it made some sense, and redid a few other little things. And yeah, it's just overall a better looking piece of work at this point. So
yeah, it's really nice. I like it. I've just pulled
Thank
it
you.
up. I'm just my brain is doing that like thing where it's having trouble like disassociating visual memory. Like I should be able to just go, okay, this is the city now, but like it wants to remember the old way.
Imprinting, yes, I know. It's a pain in the backside at times, which is the reason I'm usually so frigging fussy about showing folks maps. So, like I say, you may well imagine the unhappiness of my dialect when I realized what I'd done just before last session.
I mean, it doesn't even change my like thing.
Yeah.
I still would have gone through the open market. And
their overall story winds up the same. It's just that, yes, your brain is still trying to put it back the other way. Yeah, I know. I guess this is the reason it drives me nuts doing stuff like this. But anyway,
is Spider now wearing a I Heart CS shirt?
I don't think so. I think he's too attached to his disguise.
Spider, can I get you to very quickly oops, I forgot to open something up here real fast. Let's see. I think it would be perception equivalent. I'm trying to remember the name of it because naturally I'm brain clogged right now.
It is perception.
It's still perception.
Okay, very good, thank you.
Oh man, having been sick last week, I forgot I needed dice. Hang on.
Oh yeah, yeah, it helps. They roll better.
Plus a D8. Yeah. All right. Is this in any way related to my knowledge of crime?
I was about to say indirectly yes. So what I'm not going to do is give you a floor of 16. I'm going to give you a +3 on the roll.
I think there's actually. I don't think I get a +3. I think I just get advantage 1.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Because there you've got 2 variations of it. One of which gives you a floor, and then there's
it's that you want to make fully succeed on a roll 16 or lower. You gain advantage 1 on the roll if otherwise.
Yeah. Okay. Great. So yeah, take advantage 1. That actually does it. Essentially, this is as much a right place at the right time as it is, and then on top of that, do you notice? If you happen to be there at the right place at the right time, do you actually notice what's about? Right.
Okay. Well, I mean, the advantage 1 is going to make this one of those really disgusting rolls because
we hope.
I got a 19 on the d20, and the
fantastic.
second dice I picked up was an 8 out of 8. So let's
Oh.
see how we go. And
Oof.
another 8.
Nice.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh!
I'm
All right.
burning this on
19
the
plus
wrong
16
thing. I feel like
plus-
I'm burning this on the wrong thing. Plus
Um,
another
it-
That's always the
2.
way.
So
Oh, yeah.
37, I think.
Okay. So, you're making your way back to.
I can see the blueprint of the city in my mind.
Yes, I think that is an excellent way to phrase it. And so as you're making your way through the open market, you'll literally the equivalent of a double lizard drawn ambulance, plowing through the main road with people yell, "Out of the way, everyone!" and blah, blah. And there's like 4 of these things in a row, which suggests some sort of natural disaster has unfolded. So I think out of idle curiosity and quite your spider sense tingling, you follow along just to see what's about. And there's quite a crowd that's gathered up ahead. And the ambulances work their way through the crowd. And then you're going to hear, it's just going to be getting there. You have a fairly gruff voice, older woman who sounds like she drinks whiskey and smokes cigars as a hobby. Basically says, why the hell did you bother bringing them here? It was too late for them an hour ago. And what you're going to see is what is the unmistakable wreckage, there's no other way to put it, of a gang. Who've been, there's a manhole cover off to a side which has been pulled open. There is, canvas tarp has been thrown on the ground. Several of the remains have been bluntly piled, to give you an idea of how badly messed up a few of the victims are. Texas Chainsaw Massacre ain't got nothing on what the hell happened to these poor sods.
Right. Lots of guts around the place.
I was just going to say, no, literally torn limb from limb.
Yeah.
And so the only impact, in point of fact, there's only one of them that looks vaguely intact. And the only thing that's obvious, from your distance, everybody else in the crowd's, oh wow, there's only one survivor. No, he's dead. How you can tell he's not moving? But you kind of glance over it. It's immediately you can see the hint of blue around the lips and at the fingertips, dead by poison. You'd even probably guess which poison was used, which is really fucking expensive and not and manufactured in the burning lash.
Right.
So someone decided that whoever these poor sods were, writing them off wasn't good enough. They got taken apart. And you're guessing whoever the one guy left intact, literally, by the way, seems to have something stuck to his forehead. You can't tell what at this distance, piece of parchment or something, piece of flax cloth or something. Can't tell really.
Are there like officials, some sort of?
Oh gosh, yes. No, there's
police or something.
I was just going to say,
there's
there's the constabulary is here, or what passes for it. Cliff Spider has a volunteer town guard and a professional military is sort of the answer. Yeah. So the folks, the town watchmen are very, very obvious. They have a tabard uniform, that kind of thing. They're all carrying gaff sticks.
How shaken up do they look by this? Like, does this look like something they like? Because that's a huge mess that's been made, and I'm surprised there aren't more people vomiting around.
I was just going to say no. I mean, so for lack of a better, so out of 37, there's a few. No further roles discussions required. So no, the guardsmen have never seen anything like this before. I mean, this is just right off the friggin' chart. There's at least one poor slot who's pulled his nasal helm off and is leaning in a at the mouth of an alley, making unpleasant noises. There's a few, and yes, several members of the crowd are excitedly coming up to see what's going on. And oh my God, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
But like I say, most of the piles have been covered up in canvas. But literally they're still taking bits and pieces, like literally coming up, here, have an arm, put that leg on pile number 2 kind of thing, right? Is literally how it's like, oh.
Yeah, okay. Well, I think Switch is going to make their way through the crowd towards...
Oh, yeah. Switch. I forgot.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks. I'll make a note.
Yep.
You're going to make their way through the crowd towards one of the more anemic looking town guardsmen keeping people back. Someone younger, perhaps, who's looks a bit more shaken up.
Yeah.
And yeah, sort of slowly maneuver his way towards where that person is in keeping the crowd back. And once he's close enough, he says, he just goes, I haven't seen something like this in quite some time.
You're going to get a what? You've seen this at all?
Yeah, and he just like snaps his head towards the guy as if he'd never noticed him. And he says, indeed, I wasn't expecting to out here. And he like just slowly takes off one of the leather gloves and holds his hand out towards the young guard.
Yeah, so the young fellow will shake your hand. You must. I don't recognize a lot of people. Let's be honest, but you don't look like you're from around here. You new to the neighborhood, then?
Professor Arachnidae at your service.
Professor Arachnidae. He kind of pauses for a second. It sounds like there's a punchline in there somewhere, but I can't see it. So, Zandrin Cranner, he says. A chandler by most of occupation and currently occupied being part of the town guard.
Gosh. Yeah, as they're shaking hands, he puts his still gloved hand on the boy's shoulder and he says, "Are you all right?"
Oh, it's just a little grisly, right? I mean, it's a bloody slaughterhouse down there.
Indeed. Quite a mess. I'm rather well traveled, I must say, and you don't see events like this in waves in general too often.
I should have hoped not. Kind of this kind of wry kind of moment on his face, and he glances over, here, put this foot away, kind of a thing going on over the manhole cover between two of the other guards.
Yeah. And there's like
I think that goes on number 4.
There's like a fake shudder. No, not since the islands for me. Anyhow, the note, what does it say?
It's a fancy question. None of us can read it. It's in some script. One of the points at the gray-haired, solidly built woman who's directing traffic. Obviously, the one in charge of what's going on here. She says she thinks it's probably the script from the burning from the Empire, but doesn't look like anything I've ever seen before.
Well, I would hardly wish to overstep my welcome when I am new in town, but perhaps I can help.
Well, if you speak the language, I can then that'd be a help to us.
I have some small familiarity. I wouldn't say I'm fluent.
Hang on then. Riser! He yells and waves his hand, and the woman looks over. Lieutenant Riser, this fellow here, he may be able to help us. She's stride over. She's obviously, for lack of a better way of putting it, she's obviously someone's grandmother. And as such has no time for anyone's chicaneries. She's seen it all and spanked 5 of them. So she'll wander over and kind of give you a sort of up and down look. And who do I have the pleasure of meeting then?
And he holds out his hand again and he says, I've got to decide on a full name. All right, it's he says Harold Arachnidae von Switchenheim. You can call me Professor.
Are you kidding me? I'm sorry. I just have to. What?
I didn't say it was a good lie.
There's going to be this long pause. She's going to listen to what you've said, basically, once again in your head. Mr. von Stitchenheim, understood. So how can you help us?
I am very unfortunate to admit that I have seen this kind of mess before. Not in some time, and not on purpose. I was wondering if perhaps the note was in the script of the Empire.
That's what I think. I'm only barely fine. She kind of shakes her.
I missed that chance, Chantal.
She's going to shake her head and say something along the lines of, "Yeah, I read just enough to be able to ask where the bathroom is, and that's about it." Are you more current, or at this point, what I'm going to wind up having to do is once we get the disaster here cleared up and the crowd cleared away, to take this over towards the merchant district and find someone I can pay to translate it.
I have some familiarity, not a lot, but I might be able to give a better idea.
Well, give it a shot then, she says, and passes you the note.
Spider definitely doesn't speak that language, but he would have seen like some amount of script from it because he was
it absolutely
doing some business. Yeah, so I don't recognize it in any way.
No, it's absolutely. I'm just gonna say it's absolutely not. You've seen, with your background and a 37. I'm going to say that you've seen enough jot notes.
Yeah.
The equivalent of Rosetta Stones. Right, where it's been written in Imperial and then written in Confederate underneath it, to be able to, just, you're not going to be able to do detailed translation at the snap of a finger, but at the same time you can look at it and say, that's not Imperial.
Yeah, right. It's something completely different.
Yeah.
So
the other thing that 37 will tell you is it's actually written in the equivalent of Thieves' Cant.
Yeah, that's basically what I was expecting, but it's probably, some localized version where it's going to take some time to work out what's going on. So instead of actually trying to translate it, what Spider's trying to do is memorize it.
Yep, sure. Okay then, yeah. So just so it's been said, later on when you actually try and do something with that memorization, you will have advantage 1 on your learning roll.
Yeah. And so he makes
because you've sort of prepared the scene well enough that they're all going to give you enough time to stare at it and and haw and scratch on it on a clipboard kind of thing before you declare that nope, no clue.
And that's it. He makes a big deal out of it and says, "Well, if it is Imperial, it's a dialect I'm not familiar with, I'm afraid. I think there might be something about a warning in there, but you probably could have guessed that yourselves."
I was hoping that's what it wasn't. She says with a laugh. But thank you. Appreciate you being willing to try. Where can we find you if we need to speak to you again on these sorts of matters? She pauses for a second, smiles politely, and says, "Professor."
And he smiles back and he says, what's it called? The something clock? The staggering clock?
Staggering clock, yeah.
He says, "I am very temporarily housing at the staggering clock, though I am planning to be on expedition sometime very soon."
All right. Well, if I need something from you about this, it'll be within the next day at most. If we can't get started on it in that much time, it's done already. Thank you.
Very well. And he tips his hat and just disperses back into the crowd.
So for lack of a better way of putting it, you can tell that she's got this vague idea something ain't making sense here, but you've done such a good job that she can't figure out what.
Yeah.
And
as you makes his way back through the crowd. You can see him sort of like, his eyes are like flicking as if he's like still trying to remember exactly how it was written and just keep it in his mind.
Yep, sure thing. All right, so we will move the scene ahead to when you are arriving at the staggering clock. So yeah, what is the cunning plan once you arrive?
There was probably a point where, during the before, possibly even like just before Spider gets back, where Mysel does something like suddenly just goes, it's suddenly just like, oh, I'm an idiot, and then just like it just focuses on like the middle distance for like a minute.
Yep.
And then it's just like, damn it.
Why are you an idiot?
I didn't look at the note.
Oh, what note?
Those Chigauza put a note on one of the people's heads, the head of one of the people she killed, and I suddenly realized that if I actually read it, or like looked at the stuff, looked around the area, I might have gotten some clues about what she was trying to do, and why she's important.
I mean, you told her everything else. Why didn't you just ask her?
Because I don't think she was going to want to tell me why she killed a whole bunch of people.
What if she did?
Well, I was trying to not to, aggravate the person who just killed a bunch of people.
I think that's an excellent moment for Spider to walk in on.
I don't understand why that would be aggravating.
Yeah, so I think you all see Switch walk in and like look around, probably sees you guys and just like holds up a finger and then walks straight to the bar.
Of my room? Just to the bar of my room.
Oh wait, you guys are in your room. I thought you were in like I assumed you were in a common room, given that that was where I was walking in.
Oh, we were in my room.
Okay.
Yeah.
Never mind then.
We're
In that
not
case,
we're not that dumb. Come on.
Yeah.
in
We're not
that case,
dumb.
rather than a walk-in, you hear like a rapping on the.
Yeah.
A rapping on my chamber door.
Yes, correct.
A rapping.
A rap tapping on my chamber door. Alexandria will go and open the door.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure this is fine.
Yeah. Spider seems like preoccupied, and then like looks and he says, "Paper, something to write with."
Do you look the same as the last time we saw you?
Yes.
What did you change?
Yeah.
I'm just checking. Because he's someone
he
else
looks
entirely.
Sorry. Yeah, he looks like Switch.
Okay.
I give
Yes?
him paper.
Yeah, and he immediately like moves to any flat surface in the room and just starts writing on the bed.
So why did you tell her everything about us then?
I didn't tell her everything. I didn't tell her much at all, really.
Okay.
So
But what did you
in
tell
the
her,
end
though?
of the end of the day, I don't know. And I hope this is not a. She's connected in some way to what I'm here for, to the reason I'm here.
Okay.
As in helping you get Lucas and Chevalier back.
There's like a loud sigh, and the pen, put down the pen, turn around and say, "Sorry, who did you tell what to?"
Yes, Mysel.
There's a moment of like, Mysel's like, it's just been fine, and then when he actually thinks about it, he's like, well, I may have talked to someone who was quite dangerous. I may have mentioned Alexandre by her first name. But she didn't seem to know anything about that, which honestly was quite confusing. Really thought I was onto something. And the visions usually aren't confusing. Like, they're not vague. It's just, I don't understand. Vexing. And he mucked with my abilities. No one's ever done that before. I don't think.
What do you mean?
Well, there were two of them. And so I tried to find the big one first. And then when I found him, like, mentally, what I was seeing was not the present. It was either, because it was at night. So it was either the night before or, I don't know, tonight.
But was there ticking? Maybe there is ticking.
There was no, there was just, the time was wrong. And it's like, it's not, I wasn't looking through time. I was just looking in the present. And then when I looked for the other one, Shigalza, that was much more present. So I just followed her and had a chat. But she was really dangerous. She killed a lot of people.
Oh.
And then put a note on one of their heads. And then I got to look at the note.
Yeah, Spider's eyes go wide. And he grabs the piece of paper, holds it up, and he says, "This note."
How'd you get the note?
Were you there too?
Also takes the note and then just starts. Don't know how long it takes to do this. 10 minutes, fun. Starts just staring at the damn note.
Kaz, does this mean anything to you?
I don't read that. No, absolutely not. I am not. I would also like to point out I'm not the dangerous person that that your real names were told to, but we have come to the conclusion that I do know them.
Real
so I just
names?
thought maybe
obviously she knew our names.
They didn't tell me they didn't mess up. Nobody messed. Did Alexandria and Mysel had nothing to do with it. I've known the whole time. It was just. I just wanted you to know because I didn't think continuing to call them by the other names, like I keep forgetting them, so I feel like it's probably best that I just carry on. Note. We're talking about the note. I just wanted to put that out there. It's fine.
She thought it would be easier to lie so that then you trust her instead of telling the truth and then having you
I'm not
trust
worried
her.
about Kazra.
Well, that's good because
good. That's what we want.
She
That's
knows
right.
everything,
Yes.
so you should probably not be. It's probably for the best.
I left her alone with you. I had some suspicion she would know our entire backstory by now.
Well, that's just not very nice, now is it?
Why did you make me learn the name then?
They didn't.
Because
Alexandria-
I trusted Kazra.
Why?
I'm honored, but also they didn't tell, and I just want to put that out there so that nobody thinks that your covers were blown or anything like that. Everyone was very secretive.
Okay, everybody, no one's in trouble.
Well, I mean, now some
With
assassin.
me.
Yeah, there are some dead people that they're okay.
Oh.
Yeah, I saw the dead
please.
people. That could be trouble.
Also, in
That
10
feels like
minutes,
trouble.
in 10 minutes, I should be able to read this note.
10 minutes.
Okay, I picked up some of it, but it's a bit different to have
10
what I'm
minutes to
used to.
invoke tongues.
Where were you?
I was just touring the city, getting my bearings. I saw the statue. Thank you for telling me about it, Kaz.
You didn't.
You're welcome.
You didn't hear
I hope it was helpful.
anything else. Okay, good. Good.
Is there something else I
No,
should
no.
have heard? I mean, I saw the mess down the street.
No, it's
Well,
okay.
you went past name's location.
Sorry?
It's like Mars is like, oh, you went past and then whatever the location was. But
Yeah, where the
Yeah.
wait,
brawl had.
was it in the? No, it wouldn't have been in the sewer. They would have. Because so when they were cleaning up.
Yeah, it was near a manhole cover.
Yeah. They were in the sewer.
The town guard may drop by to see me. If they ask for a professor and they come to my room, just smile and nod.
At what?
Send them to me.
Well, I mean, if they come to your room, I should hope so.
Well,
As long as they don't come to my room.
well, they shouldn't.
Okay, well, that's good then.
Except that I'm known associates with you for the people downstairs, so they might.
No.
You don't have to say anything. You don't have to lie much. You just have to say, "Oh, that's their room."
Okay. Cool. Great. It's fine.
Well, I had to lie to someone to get a copy of the note, didn't I?
Yes?
Thank you for that. I forgot to check.
Gaz, does this kind of thing happen often here? You know, bodies being torn apart in the streets?
In the streets? No, not in the streets usually. That kind of thing, periodically. Like I said, most of the bad things that happen down there, down beneath the ground. The fact that it happened in the middle of the street is actually, if I'm being perfectly honest, kind of alarming. But c'est la vie, I guess. May they rest in peace.
Pieces, actually.
I wasn't gonna say it.
What was the name of the poison that you mentioned? Sorry, Michelle?
Blackthorn root.
Mm.
It's probably one of the politer ways to die by someone that doesn't particularly like you from the Empire. It's got the same sort of metabolic mechanism that chlorine does. It just binds. It just basically turns off your blood's ability to transport oxygen. So
yeah, it's bad.
you just
and this Kachauza, was it?
Shigalza.
Shigauza.
She did it
Once
with like
you-
little claws. It was impressive,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
horrifying.
Yeah.
Was she
Also,
from the
put on
Empire?
Lumcon.
They're from their own. They're one of the tribes that frequent. They're from out there.
Yeah. Okay. Because she used Empire poison.
Well,
I mean,
That doesn't sound right.
a lot
Isn't
of
that
That
people-
doesn't
easy
sound
to
right
get?
at all.
Well, I mean, she could have just bought it, I guess.
But from
depends.
where? Well, here. So I mean, I guess that makes sense.
Unless she's
Are you
trying...
looking for? Hmm?
I mean, she seemed to enter the city from the plains direction.
So maybe she's trying to make it look like someone from the Empire did it.
Maybe she's definitely sending some kind of message. Maybe it was hoping that they would think the message was not from her, but from someone else. Also, those people were start a war
A war?
or plan a war. I don't know. We were only there for a little bit. She was really fast.
A war? Like,
It sounds.
They said something about they had a lot of gear, and they were talking about how they had a war to prepare for. And
maybe with
then
orcs? Maybe?
They didn't really say much more because then she
trolls?
killed them.
Goblins?
No,
maybe?
definitely
Someone not
orcs.
here.
Are
No.
you sure? Because they looked more like a street gang to me, and if they were preparing for a war, I would have imagined it was with another gang.
It might have been. They
But
weren't specific, like I said, because then they died.
Somewhat a shame that a gang war would have been really good for us.
Why?
Good.
Why?
Gangs at war need money and goods, and that's... Never mind. It's a business thing.
So it would have been good for you.
For us,
Why?
Alexandri, I know you're used to just having all the money, but you do need some money to launch an expedition to the middle of the plains in hostile territory.
Well, you've got transportation covered. At least there's that.
I really appreciate that, because I'm much more worried about protection.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
What
Ugh.
do you want to hire someone?
I mean, there could be wait, how much of everything does she know?
Enough.
If
Sorry,
there's an
which she are
entire
we talking about?
Kazra,
Oh, our names.
Mm-hmm.
Hio.
Mm-hmm.
what about the vision?
I know
No.
about a song, but not a vision.
Oh, that's the one I was thinking.
Yeah, no. Well, now
Right.
she does.
Now I
So
know there's
if
a
we're
vision.
potentially walking into an orcish war horde, we might need some protection.
You mean like an entire army? Because I can't afford that right now.
Not an
I don't even
entire
think that
army,
if I
but
asked
enough
my
that it's
parents,
not
they could
just
afford it. It's not. That's not easy.
the three of us, or four, can't just walk into the middle of an army. I mean, I might be able to by myself.
Would you get out?
I actually wanted to talk to you about that.
Me?
I have an idea.
Oh no, I don't. You know I don't like those. I don't like it when you have those. Maybe not that.
That's beautiful.
I feel like it's been about 10 minutes.
Yep. All right. I will post the text to chat. And then I will post so what it says is, this is the first warning. There will be others, but trust me when I say that you do not wish to find out what that means. Stop your games. Do not harm the priestess. The claws in the dark are watching you.
Hey.
Oh, the priestess is the she. Oh.
So who's the
Not
priestess?
Alexandre.
Were you worried it was her?
Should have checked the note.
The priestess. Who is the priestess?
How involved in this problem are we?
Well, I mean, Mysel has made it our problem.
Well, made it my problem.
How?
So, the thing is, when you all went off, I thought I could take steps to, like I said, do the thing I was asked to do.
Mm-hmm.
And, ever since the thing that happened to Hio and I've found that I can kind of this is one of those, not really, but it's a good explanation. I can kind of tap into the, I guess, universal consciousness and, see things that either have happened or potentially will happen or are happening, and can kind of get information that way. And usually just a little bit. It usually just helps me know where to go. Like it's not usually like vague or anything, but in this particular instance, I don't think it was vague. I just think I didn't understand. And it was, but what I was trying to find out is if there was anything that I needed to know about relating to my task here in Cliff Spider. And I was shown these two Lucon. And they said some things that I didn't understand because I don't speak Lucon. But when I was chatting with Shigalza, I made it so I could, and I realized, and I thought back to what they had said, and they were talking about that she had arrived, and that preparations need to be made, and then apparently the large one left. I think, like I said, I tried to find him and it was weird. And then Shigalza, the little one, he was really big, but littler. She went in, and so I went to try and find her because, I was assuming that the she was Alexandre. And, I was trying to hope I could gauge if they were a problem or a help. And then in the conversation, it seemed like they weren't connected with anything to do with us, except that they are, because I asked, and that's who I was shown. So they're connected somehow. I don't know.
What if
I guess the priestess is the she.
Okay, so what if the priestess is Jennifer?
Do we know this priestess? That would...
Holding up the paper. This is the first I heard of. I know she didn't say anything. Essentially, after seeing what she did to those people, I thought that the best way to approach her, given that I was a stranger and I was going to be asking some rather probing questions, was to make sure that at no point did she think that I was trying to deceive her. And so the best way to not deceive her was to not deceive her. But obviously she wasn't just
reasonable.
Obviously given what she's here to apparently do, she wasn't exactly going to just tell the first 12-year-old who asks.
How much do you trust this universal consciousness of yours?
Like I said, when I try to find information, the answer it gives is useful.
Does it have its own perspective?
It's not a thing that it's not like a person that I'm asking a question. It's
like reading a book.
It's like I just sort of put the question out, and then I am shown pertinent information. Like when I wanted to know if Cedric was after you two, that's what I asked, and I was shown him talking about Chevalier. So I asked about Chevalier and Lucas, if there was something to do with my task more specifically, and I was shown them arriving here at Cliff Spider. The edge of Cliff Spider, and then they seem to have gone separate ways.
Meisel, you're a genius. Thank you. You did good.
I hope so.
Wait, hang on. Why is he a genius? If I did the same thing, you would say I was an idiot.
Yeah, but your god thing you don't trust.
What, my universal consciousness?
I mean, to be fair, I could probably be both.
What?
Well, it kind of felt like more of a calculated risk, but it was a big risk.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm super surprised you're alive right now, but, you did do good.
First time I've dealt with someone who's dangerous.
So well done, I guess, for surviving. Is that the part that makes him a genius?
It was a public place. Good kebabs, though. We should go there again.
I do like a good kebab.
Which, to be fair, she did say that I could go back and talk to her, and that she regularly gets lunch there. So,
We don't know for sure that Alexandre isn't the priestess.
Very kind for a murderer, I'm just saying.
She did not seem to recognize the name.
Right, you mentioned
essentially, I also mentioned Chevalier and Lucas, and she recognized the name Lucas, but from Lucas Senior, not
Of course, yeah.
Lucas
Everyone
Jr.
does.
Kazra, yes, question.
I do have
Raising
a
your
question.
hand.
Yeah. Well, yes. Just real quick, you said that that this person, the Luncan, that they didn't recognize Alexandri's name. However, maybe don't rule that out. Do you guys often go around telling people that your names are something different than what they are? Is that a possibility? Because that would be confusing if you guys go by a bunch of different names.
Oh yeah, I mean, I have literally called Alexandria the priestess on multiple occasions.
He keeps trying to make me wear veils.
Why?
It's hard to disguise.
Hell?
Like,
I mean, this does seem like someone who's a little bit more connected.
someone
she-
who
she
won't
took out
wear a
whole-
disguise,
Took out a
Kazra.
bunch of people who were apparently a threat to this priestess, and seeing as I don't think we know any of them. Like, not ruling it out. I certainly don't think we should rule it out. My feeling
Do
is
you think
it's someone else.
The
Okay.
different
Maybe
priestess.
Maybe the priestess is the person who has information.
It would be
Maybe we should find the
easier if
priestess.
they wanted Alexandria, because that would make it easy. But if it's someone else, we can make ourselves
Well, it could be
useful.
Genevieve.
That would be the worst case scenario, yes.
Okay.
I'm really glad you said that, because I'm like, am I supposed to know that? And I
Yeah.
really
What?
want someone to mention that it might be Jennifer.
Why? I mean, I said it earlier, but nobody heard me.
I did hear you, but
I
there was a
completely
lot
missed
going
it.
on.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that would be the worst case scenario, because then we would not be able to be on the same side as these dangerous people.
That's not new at all.
So if you're joining the war, you want to be on the side with these guys. Just making sure. I'm just a tour guide. I just want to know which way to lead you.
Yeah, Kaz, look, I didn't intend to join any sort of war, but if
Good,
there
good.
are very dangerous people who know the planes, we might be able to be on the same side with. That feels like a good place to start.
Does the
Sure,
name,
yeah.
the claws in the dark ring any bells? For myself.
No,
Does it
not
ring
at
any
all.
bells for Alexandre?
No, not at all.
I'm mostly interested in whether it rings bells for Kazra.
Kazra, make me a learning roll with advantage 1, please.
I would love to. I have dice somewhere. I'm a
Dice, dice,
person
dice,
that has a
dice.
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 And they live in a place where I can find them at convenient times. Because why not? Okay. Learning roll.
What's your
Ooh,
what's your learning
bad.
die?
I'm about to check. It's probably not great, I'm going to be honest with you. Oh, no, that's not bad. It's D6.
Okay.
So you're rolling 2d6 and taking the higher.
Yep.
Nice.
D20 plus D20 plus 1d6.
Sick.
Yeah, well,
No,
yes, as she says, you roll 2d6, take the higher. Yeah, that's right.
I
Sorry.
spent a lot of time playing Monster Hertz and thus throwing my dice all around the room. So my D6 are just not.
I'm not sorry.
No, you're not.
No.
Um.
Not sorry at all.
Okay, so that is a 16 plus 5, so 21 if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
All right. A 21. Yeah. So, okay. A 21 means that you have actually heard of them before. The problem is that's kind of like saying you've heard of the Hells Angels.
Yeah.
Or it's actually a little bit more like saying that you've heard of the Mossad is actually a better way of putting it. The Claws in the Dark, no one's actually sure who the hell they are. They are sort of a vigilante outfit because they seem to almost exclusively make a habit of interfering in gang affairs. What they're up to, no one has yet been able to tell because, if for lack of a better way of putting it, nothing they do seems to make sense to anyone locally. Sometimes they're propping up the losers. Other times they're supporting the winners. Sometimes they're massacring everyone with equal impunity. Other times they're leaving care packages. They're obviously trying to manipulate whatever is going on in the underworld here. But no one can make hide nor hair of what the hell the objective is. Or
So they've got
at
their
least
own
they,
interests.
yes, they're up to something, but Honk knows what. Okay, I mean,
They're up to something, but Honk knows what.
Who's Honk?
I think she says percent. Yeah. A cousin of mine.
Oh.
That was a lie. No, that was a lie.
Okay.
I'm sorry. It was gonna be. Don't worry about it. Anyway, yeah. Don't really know a whole lot about them. I know. Clearly, some of them they're pretty famous around here. I'll be honest with you. I've seen them around. Nobody knows what they want though. They just kind of do their own thing. Sometimes they're good though. If you get on their good side, maybe they'll help you. If they don't kill you.
They all want Kong.
I feel like here or there might be like a friend that is like, but like never on the higher ranking ones are usually Lanka. Yeah. There might be like an underling that's like, something else.
Well, that's
Person.
good for us.
Yeah.
I have a question that I need to ask, but I don't want to be rude or offensive when I ask it, so I don't.
You should just ask. Go ahead.
So, do Longhan have
Oh God.
do Fulfixie and Longhan?
I'm sorry.
Kazra kind of like.
I
Kazra does the
Jamie
bird
just
thing.
worked out what you were trying to ask.
Kazra does the bird thing. She like tilts her head all the way to the side, and all the way to the other side.
Do they eat you?
Not if we can help it.
I needed to know. I'm sorry.
Here's the thing. Okay, so we 60, we are how do you put this? Birds of prey, so to speak. We fly up pretty high. They're pretty like low to the ground or whatever. You've been to the bar down there though. Sometimes some of the kebabs. Yes. So anyone could be eating us.
No, what? No,
Someone's
I can't.
Fulfixie.
No one.
That's kind of I know it's awkward, but it's kind of why I stay away from anything that looks like it might be a bird, because you never know what kind of bird it is or where the meats come from. So it's an awkward question to ask, but it's not like they're going to like grab me out of the sky and like murder me. That's not like their thing.
Alexandra, you
not
don't
as-
eat lizard men just because you sometimes have eaten crocodile.
I have not eaten crocodile.
You guys have eaten
Why haven't you eaten crocodile? It's delicious.
I'm not surprised you've eaten crocodile.
It's not as adversarial as it could be, because we are not really large players in whatever it is they want or whatever it is going on. We help whoever we want to help, and kind of so do they. So we kind of have that in common. So it's just kind of an understanding that we don't, but it's not impossible is the answer to your question. Circle of life.
You also haven't been here that long, so it's hard to have a solid place in the food chain.
Right. There were a couple of times pretty early on. I mean, I was little, but like there was a couple of times pretty early on where they were just like, wow. And that was, we've worked past that. It's a little awkward, but we've worked past it. That's all.
I am sorry if I made you uncomfortable.
You didn't. It's just, it's an awkward subject. You're not the part that's awkward. It's just I don't like to think about it.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I was just curious, and I kind of had to ask. It seemed important. Especially
would
since
need
there's
me-
Mooncon here, and there's also you here. And if you're supposed to, travel with us, or
They won't eat me any more than they'll eat you.
I mean, that's not
I don't
that
know.
doesn't answer the question.
Yeah.
That's not.
Yeah. I know that that's not like uniquely helpful because
No.
I don't know what that number is on a scale from 1 to chomp, but they're about equal if it helps. That's all I got for you. I'm sorry.
That's plenty, thank you.
They prefer their food cooked, most of them, if that helps.
I mean, so does Hale.
Can you cook a city?
If you have enough fire, yeah.
Oh, God. Oh, no.
But he said he's not going to. That's the point.
Yes, I know. And she's
It's
like
also
looking
too
at myself
small.
like, you promised. That's right. She thinks they're the same still. You did promise.
They are the
I
same
will
still.
trust you on that.
I mean, they're only getting smaller, so it's okay.
Dragons are cities.
Well, I wasn't talking about the dragon and my soul.
I'm not gonna ask. I
Okay.
feel like it's a mark of trust for me at this point if I do not ask. I'm not going to ask.
It's
We're
okay.
back
We'll take
to the
hundreds
thing
of
about
years.
clocks, Kazra.
The ticking, the clocks. Yeah, no. Got it. I'm keeping notes.
Have you ever heard the clock
I
tick
got it.
backward?
Unbelievable.
She kind of like does this with her feathers, like. Please don't show me.
You don't want to know.
No.
Not after the experience you had earlier. I don't think
I've heard quite enough sounds, new sounds for the day.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for
Yeah.
offering. I don't.
Oh, so you showed her the song.
Not on purpose. It was not the same.
It was more than that. It was. There were.
No wonder you told her everything.
No.
Wait,
Alexander
else
didn't
was
tell me
there?
anything. I told them that I knew things. I'm the one that made the mistake, Spider. I did it. It was me. I said her name, and then she was like, "Did I tell you my name?" And I was like, awkward. And then we had a talk. And then Maisel came back. That's all.
The song made a new sound,
Yeah.
but it wasn't the song.
It was awful.
Wait, did the song make a new? So wait,
No.
the song didn't make a new sound. There was a new sound along with the song
Before it, yes.
before the song. Okay.
Wouldn't call it a song so much as.
No, it was a feeling.
So not a good sound.
No.
Like the river.
Very bad sound.
Michelle, was it like the river? Was it,
No, completely
it wasn't.
different.
No, it was different. It didn't have the same feeling to it. No, different.
What was the thing we stole that had a bad song?
Oh, the jar that had
Yeah.
a demon in it?
Was it more like the jar?
No, the jar sounded like Star Wars.
Literally did. What if an object sounded like Darth Vader?
The object sounded like Darth Vader. That's what it sounded like.
So the conclusion that we came to about that, which really wasn't much of anything after I stopped screaming, was I'm not from around the full 60. We're not from here. Like not just here. We're not from
She's talking about the
here.
planes.
Yeah, no,
Planet-
I know. I mean,
You're in-
you know
you're
who my
Planet
grandfather
Refugee.
is.
Statue, right?
Yeah.
Statue guy? Yeah.
Yeah, I know about the thing. We don't.
Yeah.
We've been told not to talk about it, but I get it.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna say more.
Maisel, did
That's
you know?
probably why this one was bad.
The full 60 came from another dimension
Okay, how do you know?
because I've been around for a while and I listened to things.
Oh, okay.
11 years.
It was a big deal when it happened.
Were you there?
No.
Oh.
But like in the broad vicinity, like I was close enough to get news.
Okay. Ticking backward. Tuck tick.
Talk tick.
Mysel.
Talk tick.
Tuck tick. Tuck tick. Mysel.
Not cover this. We can cover this.
We can cover this. Mysel's growing down,
Oh.
but it's taking a while.
Yeah.
That's what this was about.
I'm older than I look by a lot.
Like 1,000 years. He's very old.
Like a fat.
Hence
Okay.
the dragon.
Okay.
The dragon is also
Sure.
very old.
That does
Probably
not make
closer to 1.5, but whatever. We can round.
that doesn't make any sense. You can't just say someone's growing backwards and then say hence the dragon. Like the dragon makes it make sense. Those are two different
Well,
concepts.
you know what? Now you understand why I don't like clocks.
Are they
I have
hurting?
another reason for not liking clocks,
Yeah.
but
Spider has a whole other reason. Spider's ticking the right way, but it's getting faster.
thanks for the reminder.
Sorry.
Okay, so
You
what
didn't
do
have to
guys
hear
wanna
it.
do?
Not at first.
And what about you? Are you ticking forward?
No,
or
I'm not
backwards?
ticking. I don't tick at all. I'm
Oh, so
completely
you're
normal.
just gonna stay like you're just gonna stay like that.
Would
Well,
appear
other people
that
don't
she
tick.
perceives manipulations in time as ticking.
I see. Wibbly wobbly.
And you don't
I
tick.
understand. Tick.
You don't tick.
So am I immortal? I don't.
No.
I mean,
Like
only if I
Normal
am.
people don't tick.
Normal people
We're
don't
getting
tick.
off track. We're getting off track. I could sit here and ask you guys questions all day, but the most important one is, do you want to find the poison or the lions? And the balloon can.
I don't know if I want to find either.
Okay.
I kind of want to find both, so
Oh, great.
Yeah.
We know where the house is gonna be
Are we getting
Papa.
kebabs?
Yeah.
because she just said we could. She gets lunch at the kebab place most days.
We can go there.
Yes.
I'm fine with that.
not right now. We can't.
Why?
Well, no, it's past lunch.
There's a murder scene there.
Well, not there.
Why would she stay near there?
Oh, so it's not near there? Oh, I'm confused about which kebab shop we're talking about.
No, yeah, it's like it's like a 5-10 minute walk from there.
Okay, all right, good. Alexandri, where are the birds? Oh, they were there. Okay.
Yeah, they're-
I couldn't see them.
There was a second of where I was like, did Michelle whisper to she's like at some point mention the birds?
No. Okay.
I think they're here. Are they here? Are they here? Are they here? Where are the birds?
I'm just going to say,
I have no reason to believe they're not there.
Yes, so I'm just going to say, so essentially what's been going on is this conversation has been sufficiently intense that currently what you're actually seeing is one beak and one eyeball sticking out of this side of her hair, and one beak and one eyeball sticking out of this side of her hair, because they're trying to I want to hide, but I want to peek. I want to hide, but I want to peek.
Me too.
Oh my god.
Watching through the feathers.
I'll be honest with you, I didn't know how long they were going to last when you first turned up with them.
I told you that they would just stick around.
Well, seeing is believing. You're getting very, very good at it.
At what?
Your song things. Making things.
Mm.
How specific can you be about what you make?
Well, I only intended to make one bird, and I have two.
we're getting back to my idea now.
Oh no, I said no. I don't want it.
All right. Well, I guess.
No, I'm more scared when you're okay with dropping it. What?
I was just thinking of some things that might be useful to us on our expeditions.
Mm-hmm.
And if we can make them ourselves, it saves us a lot of time and money.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that would help us see in the dark might be of useful.
We have that.
Not in the Underdark, just normal darkness. I'm more thinking about whether you can put the song into things so you don't have to concentrate on it.
Maybe?
It's worth thinking about. I'm also interested in... I knew a magician back in the capital. And he made his living off doing parlor tricks, but secretly I saw him once literally disappear, and it wasn't a trick.
I mean, like Mysel does? Is that what
Like
you mean?
Mysel does. Can you make me do that? Or make me a charm or something that could let me do that?
I don't know. Maybe?
Have a think about it. I can find someone else if I have to.
Okay.
What time is it now? Is it like evening or?
Oh, just get, let's see here. By my clock, it had been early morning when everyone had gone off in their various directions. So it's somewhere between late morning to lunch hour. Mysel had run into her, she had mentioned she's usually around there at lunch, but the reason she was stopping and having a snack was because, well, she'd just blown a pile of calories. So, but yeah. So yeah, call it, it's somewhere in the window of between 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock, that idea.
Well, Mysel, I'll leave it up to you whether you think us contacting the Lonkan sooner rather than later.
We probably should.
Depends how busy they are.
There's
Somebody will
something...
find time.
I mean, you have to take a break between carnages. Don't you?
Always good to take a carb break, yeah.
Need to stretch properly.
You just got to... No, you got to rest, you can't just...
Oh, that is delightful.
Man.
Speaking of which, I think we should take a break.
Man, in my 20s, I used to be at a carnage all night, and now I'm like...
Carnage from dawn to dusk, right? Like, that's how...
Dusk till dawn,
useless
yeah.
for the rest of the day. God.
These are my knives.
That's fantastic.
5 directions, Ch5.
Alrighty, folks. Back
The
shortly.
nunchuck dance?
Okay, break.
Brick.
And we're back. And I have an ear. Just one on.
You didn't have to tell anybody. We can't see your other ear.
She's a half elf. She only has one ear, right?
Right.
Yeah, you have to be a full ear to get both of them.
I figured that was why you picked that angle for the...
The other ear's just regular.
We left them without words, Danny.
They heard hot elf rather than half elf.
Oh.
And so they took it as a compliment, and now they get
powerless.
Both are true.
Let me just take us back to break because I'm broke. And then
High five, Jamie. High five. Heck yeah.
no, Michelle, run the game now.
Run the game now. Well, actually, that means I sit here and say, right then. So, what were you talking about?
Ah, shit.
Oh God.
Yeah. Back to you.
I still want to have a chat with the proprietors of this place, but I was told they won't be in till the evening, so might as well, if you had somewhere you want to take us this afternoon. We have a wonderful guide.
So you want to go talk to
Were there-
Shigalza?
Were there any other notable arrivals the other
Where?
day or recently to the city?
Mm-mm. Not to you guys. Unless, Michelle, there are.
None that
Yeah.
you've heard of, I think, is the correct answer.
Not that I know of. You guys were pretty notable.
Oh.
They've also largely occupied you since you got up this morning, so you're, hours out of the loop about anything else that might have gone on.
Exactly. Nothing's happened that's more exciting than you guys.
And I
That's
don't
fair.
really know when the conversation they had that I saw took place, so that's not helpful. Just they talked about this person arriving, so I thought if there had been an arrival,
And it was like an evening?
it might be the priestess, but
Or
No, I
it's
mean a
already-
time of
there's,
day.
there's nothing to. The conversation. I think
It was either morning or... Oh, wait, the conversation you just had?
the
Vision.
The
the-
vision. So it was either morning or
the-
it was evening,
the
but it was
pre-code
not
one
now.
was during the vision was during the day from memory.
So the first vision you had was the one that was quote at night, which was which was them meeting each other, and then you decided to focus on her because following him he was just zooming. He was just surfboarding the strange lizard thing, and you thought, well, that's not really that interesting. So you then switched your perspective to trying to watch her, and that's when you got the as it happens moment,
Yeah.
which is what led you to meeting her and to heading off to the.
But
Yeah.
watching him, it was also at night, so I was also
Yeah,
not seeing him
yes.
at the correct time either, which is
Okay, so
odd.
all right, so you've had one instance of that happening, which was the meeting between him and her.
Yeah.
When you focused on her, you got the right time.
Yeah, but focusing on him was wrong.
Yeah.
So that's. So I would have assumed it was probably in the last couple of days, but at the same time, it seems when I try to look at the guy, I don't know if I'm seeing the correct time. I don't know what it might be something that he does, or maybe there's just something happening that I'm not aware of. I don't know. It's not. It's another mystery, and it's not a pertinent one.
Okay. Well, if you think of anything else, let me know. I'll try and narrow it down for you. The lights are a little different in different nights of the week, but not by much, so.
It would be. I don't know how we do it, but I guess it would be good to try and quietly work out who the priestess actually is, because that might give us an idea of whether we should be concerned by, or I mean, we should definitely be concerned, but like whether they're on side or not, if we know who they are protecting.
Whisper of the Wild.
Sure.
Hey.
Solve the problem. Am I the priestess?
Yes.
Oh.
Oh,
Awkward.
I mean, I
That's one of those
suspected,
questions
but I
where,
didn't
like,
want to ask.
That's one of those questions where like a no is really unhelpful. But a yes is so amazingly helpful.
Yeah.
Oh, amazingly scary.
It's well, there's a reason she didn't ask before. there's a very, very good reason she didn't ask.
Gosh darn.
So I am definitely the priestess.
You asked.
Mm-hmm.
All right then.
I mean, give a
So-
point.
So we
Then I guess we're going to be meeting with them whether we want to or not.
But that would okay. Either they don't know your name,
Mm-hmm. Well, they don't.
or they're a good liar, and quite frankly, those are entirely possible,
or both.
or both. I mean, you're right. No, that's fair. Like, I did get the impression she knew more than she was telling me, but I didn't get the impression she recognized your name.
Well, she might not.
That's what I'm saying. I think that's interesting.
You gave her my first name.
Sure.
My surname
I-
is much more important to people.
I still think it's interesting.
Okay.
I think we seem to be burying the lead here that there are other people trying to harm you in this city.
Nope, that's not burying the lead. I did not want to be the priestess because I do not want that.
Suddenly I am not so gung-ho about the concept of like I think that the tour part of the tour has to be over now, I think.
Does that mean you want
Primary
to leave?
directive was no. The primary directive was to keep you guys alive, and before I kind of thought you were just being paranoid, if I'm being completely honest with you, but now
And we have
I'm thinking-
we have an efficient assassin looking after us, apparently.
maybe a
And
low
whoever this
profile would be
Shigelzik
best.
person is.
Yeah.
And
maybe-
spiders like just...
You tried.
Maybe no more like the thing that we did at the temple. Maybe we do that less or quieter.
I don't.
Oh, did you learn something at the temple?
Well, there was only the shrines, only the temple, so only the divinities, the prime ones, can hear la chanson. The shrines, no.
They can't wait. They can't hear, or
La
the song
chanson
doesn't
waits
go there?
outside.
So that's not okay. I mean, that's interesting. It's very interesting.
You keep saying interesting.
Well, I don't know if I would immediately assume that it means that the saints can't hear the song, just that the song and them keep, or at least the song keeps their distance. I don't. Or maybe.
But I mean, I can go in.
Yeah, but
So they don't have anything against me, as far as I know.
I don't know. I'm getting caught up on the oral phrasing, I guess.
Huh?
I'm getting caught up on the distinction between hearing and distance. I don't think it's an important distinction right now, but it is interesting that it is just the saints and not divinities. More things we don't know,
Great.
but more
Back them up.
information, so we're closer to knowing. Particularly if they're referring to you as priestess.
Why?
Actually, that's an interesting question.
What?
Is there a distinction when it comes to like the ascended saints and the prime divinities? Like, do the divinities have priests and priestesses, and the divinities have and the ascended saints have something else, or would it just be the same terminology across the board?
A better way of putting it is it literally changes locale to locale.
Right. Yeah.
It is almost a regional tradition It's completely dependent on culture, location. It's just in the Confederacy, generally, yes, but it falls apart the further you get away from Shining Capital.
Yeah.
So basically, that could just be a translation from Lunkan.
Yeah.
Like the closest translation they could find. It might not
Yeah.
even be accurate.
Right.
Well, great. At least Lunkan don't want to kill me right now yet.
Yet.
It's always a yet. Random voice in the sky.
Definitely
Always a
preferable.
yet. Do we go and talk to her?
I mean, we could. I could try and find her again.
Well, I mean,
Or
it's lunchtime. We could just go get kebabs and hope she's still there.
You want to go there yourself?
Well, I mean, she's looking for me.
Isn't it after lunchtime though? Like
No, it's
that was-
lunchtime now.
I literally not 5 minutes ago said it's somewhere in the window of 11 o'clock in the morning to 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It's quote the lunchtime block of time.
Oh.
A little bit of hand wavium
Right,
going
yeah,
on
yeah.
there in terms about no one's got a Timex, so.
I mean, she already ate there, but I mean, she said it was her favorite, so we could check.
Kaz,
Yeah.
I really appreciate you looking out. You know how that this person tore apart 4 people in
Yeah.
mere moments and poisoned another? I'm more scared of Alexandre.
Why? Why? I would
Just
like to
on
know
like a theoretical scale. I'm not because I trust you, but
why.
because I feel like you could probably do the same and not leave a mess.
So,
I don't.
this one's a dragon. You're more dangerous than the assassin, and your grandfather's a statue. Great! Great! This is great! This is great!
If that's the most dangerous thing you ever hear about me, count yourself lucky.
He can
It's
walk
the
up
historical
walls.
effect.
But knowing all that, you were chosen to keep us safe.
Yeah,
Which
I'm more
means you
worried
must
about how
be-
dangerous you are, to be
Yeah.
perfectly honest.
That was really from just, it seems like, remember how I said it was the weird stuff that you guys found normal and the normal stuff that trips you up? I really think I'm starting to think I am just here to make sure you can breathe up here.
What can you do to make us breathe up here?
I just exist. I don't know how to explain it.
You are air.
It's magic.
You're magic.
Yeah. If I were to walk away from you, you would suddenly find it very hard. You would remember that you were up very, very high, and you could still walk around, but eventually, your lungs would protest, and then they would.
You are
That's
you.
a
You.
spell
did
you
walk away
cast
from
on
you.
us.
Huh?
Yeah, we multiple of us have walked away from you.
I'm just going to say yes. It's just that none of you have done anything which has gotten the GM to request making the equivalent of a vigor/endurance
Yeah.
check.
Yeah.
Correct.
At which point you'll find out you have a if she's not around, you have disadvantage 1.
So you're literally.
The air you breathe. Yes. No. That's dramatic.
Oh,
No.
you're compensating for the thinness of the air.
Yes.
Okay, like Alexandre did when we on the way here.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I don't have to. Yeah.
But you do it
I'm like a
easier.
Don't think she even thinks about it.
Ah, that's cool.
So you're
Really
just
neat.
like a cloud.
I'm a cloud. Yeah. They sent you a cloud.
I feel like you're underselling yourself, Chanson. You seem like a
No.
very capable
Clouds
person.
are pretty cool.
Not in comparison to a dragon. and more dangerous than the assassin, and whatever it is that you can do, including including walking up walls.
Oh, they told you about that today.
I just told her about that.
Just
now. Just
Oh,
now. Right now.
I missed it.
They gotta call you Spider for some reason. I'm not asking any further questions. I feel like I'm gonna find out in due course.
Oh, he has loads of stories about it, and every single one of them is different.
That makes it sound like a lie.
It is. That's why I don't trust anything he says.
But he's your friend.
So?
Okay, sure. You know what? I'm gonna go back to my original MO, which was, okay, sure, okay.
Oh, okay.
I believe you. Whatever you guys say, I believe you. I am. You guys are really. Let's go talk to the. Let's go talk to Shelza.
Well, if we don't find her, she's going to find me.
Yeah.
That is inevitable. Yes.
I would much rather find her. And not be afraid to go to sleep.
I mean, if you can do what she can do, then
no,
I see
cannot.
No reason why not? I'm inclined to believe Spider on this one. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, okay.
Just because you seem like the nice one, you seem like the nice one, and before, the little one seemed like the nice one, like the small, like, oh, I understand. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it like that. I'm sorry. You just seemed non-threatening. And then I found out that you were the dragon. So when he says that you are more dangerous than that assassin, I am inclined to believe him, because you also look very non-threatening. Weird, but non-threatening. That's all of you. Or it was. Before now.
I don't look threatening.
I mean, even if I could, I don't want to do any carnage.
You less than the
Nice
others
and
because
threatening at the same time.
you kind of got the going on, and usually that's just like a face. You know, you gotta be scared of the ones that, like the assassin. You said she was small, right? In terms of cats, would you say she was cute?
Yeah, I guess she doesn't she doesn't appear immediately threatening. Except
Things aren't always what they
I
seem.
mean I knew because when she's not trying to be threatening, she's not threatening. When she's not pretending not to be threatening, she is.
Mysel, would you say the same thing about Alexandria?
I think Alexandria underestimates her potential. And I also think intent is important.
Fair enough. I'm not afraid of you. Any of you. I feel like I'm helpful. And if you wanted to kill me, you could have.
That's why I trust you. Funnily enough.
Same here. Fair enough.
So let's get kebabs.
Yeah,
I'm in.
kebabs. Let's do it.
All right then. So you folks will be heading off in the direction of the market again. So
For the
yeah,
first time?
you folks.
For some.
So yeah, you'll be heading north across the bridge over the river. Again, the river here is somewhere in the tune of 30 odd meters wide, right about 100 feet. everywhere there's a bridge, you'll notice that there are usually rapids somewhere around it. This area here, the river is running fairly shallow. And so there's an awful lot of white water in this area. Of course, because of the waterfall just not far away. You can hear the rumble of the waterfall as you're walking through walking throughout the place. There is a perpetual wind blowing through. Kind of, it stirs everything. Flags blowing, people chatting as they walk by. It's a busy day. The sun is relatively bright. There is a lot going on. I mean, you folks have seen busy places before. You come from major cities, etc. But there's still something about the energy of a busy city, no matter what its size, that's almost infectious. So are you folks talking about anything as you stroll your way over, or are you just beelining?
At some point, Spider tries to find a moment where where there's enough space that he can like lean down in the way that a friendly uncle does to say something quiet to Alexandri that the other two won't hear.
Sure.
And he misdirects it by like pointing at one of the like shops that they're passing that has something brightly colored.
Mm-hmm.
But instead of saying, hey, look at that thing, which is what you expect someone to say when they're pointing at something, he says, you had Meisel check on your family, didn't you?
Yes.
Shawnee, are you there?
Yes.
Oh, did you not hear me?
I said yes.
Oh, I missed that. Sorry.
Well, we
I didn't hear
didn't come
it
Oh,
through
you
at all.
didn't
Oh,
get
okay.
it.
No.
I said
No,
yes.
didn't come through at all.
Are they okay?
Well, I asked him to check on my grandma, and she's not in distress.
You got a clear picture.
Mm-hmm.
Very well. And just picks up the pace and catches back up to them.
All right. All right then. Anybody else? Anything else that's going to get chatted about on the way over, or is that?
She probably tells them about stuff as they're like, sort of like, but it's nothing like.
Yeah.
It's nothing of interest because she's mostly looking around like, do you guys really want to be walking around out here? Okay, sure.
Not hide. That's how the terrorists win.
God, that's awful. All right then. So yeah, a little bit later, you will find yourselves, just on average, consider it's 10 to 15 minutes, because of busyness in the street and what have you, to go to cross a district, right? So yeah, about 15, 20 minutes later, you folks will find yourselves in the heart of the open market. Not far from not in one of the central areas, but a little bit of the way off, along a road that spurs out to a little bit towards the northish, at a very nice little open air sort of place where, yes, some absolutely fine kebabs are being done to order, and they've got these very peculiar, leaning tables is the best way of explaining them, right? They're exactly the right height to put your elbows on while you're noshing on your kebab and pick up your drink.
Different heights, just checking.
Oh yeah, there's just various heights, everything from gnome to troll.
Oh, good. Somewhere in there.
Yes.
Before they got like, or as they were getting close, Maestro Pro was that if she's there, and I'll have a look, but probably best if I go first, so we don't, again, dangerous person, maybe not wanting to unnecessarily put them on edge.
Mm-hmm.
So
You're in the lead for this one, Meisel.
3 new people, but I'm sure, or I mean, I hope that we bring good news, kind of.
Yes.
Alright.
Yes.
So as it works out, you folks arrive, and she is nowhere to be seen.
Yay.
Uh-oh.
She's behind you.
I mean, yeah, no.
Is she
yeah,
actually?
no, not at all. Yeah,
Front
you
of
folks are around. There's stuff going on. The place is busy. Wonderful smells filling your nose. But yeah, she's just not here.
Well, we still get kebabs, obviously.
Oh gosh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
I'm gonna try
mhm.
and spy on her.
Sure. I think that's
I
per.
love
I
that.
think
The options, that's the way you phrased that.
That's what it's called. 21 against resolve.
Okay, her resolve, I believe, is an 18. So yes, you will be able to find her without too much difficulty. She will be unaware of your snooping. And yes, so you will find her being very Lucan, humanoid cats riding horse-sized cats surrounded by dog-sized cats. That's sort of the joke about the Lucan, and she's sort of living up to the meme, where she's basically she's got a saddle on something that looks about the size of a tiger, and is making good time away from the city, not quite a gallop, but certainly a brisk canter with 3 other different types of sort of German Shepherd size cheetah type hunting cats sort of arrayed around her in loose formation as she's making her way. And she's very obviously deep in thought. She's going somewhere. The cat knows where it's going. She's not really paying too much attention, except the odd time when one of the hunting cats makes a query type noise, and then sort of all of the heads in unison look in that direction. Yeah.
But definitely out of and going away from city.
Yes, for sure.
Do I have a sense of how far out?
Oh, probably a couple of hours.
Yeah.
In other words, you'd guess probably shortly after she finished up eating and was done chatting with you, she saddled up and left.
All right. Head back to the others. Well, go find wherever they're getting kebabs.
Mm-hmm.
She's not here. Like, the city here. So, like I said, she said she'd be having lunch here for a few days, so I don't know if she's coming back, or if she just, lied, or something came up, or I don't know. She's a few hours ride out of the city at the moment, and I can't contact her. Although, no, I can't contact her at the moment. So potentially she'll be back tomorrow. I don't know. Like I said, maybe she was just misleading me.
Right.
I wanted to ask her what she knows about La Chanson, and now I cannot.
I just
Like I
now.
said, she might be back tomorrow. They're riding pretty
Yeah.
quickly, so
So, in the meantime, is there... Get kebabs, at least.
Very good.
They
very
are
good.
tasty.
So essentially, it's I don't know, it's Korean street food is the best way of putting it. It's a big heaping plate of steamed grains, and then 2 or 3 kebabs, and there's like 5 different types of meat and 3 different types of sauces, and 9 different types of vegetables you can sort of have put together to order, and then eating hearty is not a problem, and then the steamed grains are a good filler.
Oh, I could go that right now.
Yeah.
Same.
So good.
Sounds so good.
World Archives cooking show.
So what do we do now?
Yeah, one of those things I always find so interesting is that so many people in their games don't pay any attention to what the food says about the culture, right?
True.
Mm-hmm.
And one of those things I used to watch No Reservations constantly. I absolutely adored that show just because of the same dish in 10 different continents kind of thing. It's like, just absolutely radical departures on what normal looks like when you're working with the same fundamental batch of stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Good stuff.
loved it. Loved that show. Anyway, continue.
Now
my
I'm
apologies.
hungry.
Hi, hungry. I'm dead.
No.
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 Being a pretend
I mean, you
father
may,
for a
but, like,
day.
No. You may not. Not beamed into my ears, you may not.
Turns out he already has, so there's that. But
I don't know how to do what I want to do.
Well, you should probably ask let me know what it is you want to do, and we can collaborate on figuring out how it ought to work.
a good point.
Alexandre is kind of fed up. And
Okay.
she just kind of wants to say to the song, "What the hell do you want?"
Okay.
Kind of internally, not out loud, in her head.
Right. Yeah.
But with force. I just don't know how to make with force happen.
Yes. That is, at its most fundamental, what you'd be making is a prescience roll followed by a presence roll. At its most mechanically raw, right?
Okay. Prescience followed by presence.
Mm-hmm.
Need a D8 followed by a D10. Okay. So 15 on prescience.
Mm-hmm.
24 on 24 on presence.
Wow. All right then. Just give me a moment while I take a second to consider this.
Song says, "I'm so glad you asked." Finally. Okay,
Taking
here
so
we go.
long.
Ah, fuck.
It's finally.
Couldn't talk until you actually asked me to say something.
Like a genie.
Couldn't talk until you're able to say something.
True. Whoa.
Oh, I don't like that.
One
Oh,
sec.
whoa. I forgot that everyone could hear that. Oh, no. That means it's related. Oh, no.
That's not
One
good.
second. My copy of Syrinscape just literally nosedived, so I actually don't know what it... Okay, there we go.
We can definitely hear the creepy music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Was the
happening.
creepy
Don't
music
worry.
intentional?
I don't like that.
To everybody else, what is going to be happening is nothing. The sounds haven't changed. The place is busy. There are flies. One of the little robin constructs is arguing with Spider about right of way concerning some of his rice. That sort of thing. To Alexandria, though, suffice to say that she has that moment of frustration and mentally barks, "What do you want from me?" And the world around her turns to ash. The sky rages with green lightning. You see ebon elves creeping through the shadows, armed with savage-looking weapons. You see them cutting down humans who are clearly unaware they're there. You will watch one of them stride over to a beautiful-looking lake with a castle beside it, which seems exempt to the chaos surrounding what is going on. And that individual walks over, and in some way they seem familiar to you. Uncorks a vial, this utterly transparent, innocuous liquid pours out of it, and they just drop the vial in, wipe their hands in satisfaction, and literally give the middle finger towards the castle, and they turn and walk away as the other ebon elves group around them and usher through the darkness, leaving this trail of destruction. And then you see the water become as poisoned as the sky. You see children weeping as their mothers wither before them. You see the streets of a huge city with those stricken by some horrific plague with ulcers coursing from their bodies. And the only thing that gives you a sense of scale is what you thought initially was a halfling is probably a human. And then the camera will pivot away from the city as it begins to crumble, and you see a dragon flying through the air and fading out of sight. And you can see the clouds pouring away as though they're in fast forward. And then blue skies and darkness and stars and meteors pour past your vision in this continual parade of winter and summer to spring to fall. And the camera continues to track around to the mountain. And the mountain is dormant in the opening. And then you see the first telltale wisps of smoke begin to arise from the top of the mountain, followed by magma pouring down its flanks. You see orcish hordes and trolls fleeing before these rivers of destruction that are flowing out into the plains. And some amount of time passes. You don't know how long you're in that moment. And you see a horse and cart and a half-dozen individuals fleeing the burning mountain. And just before you get a good look at them, it all goes away.
And that's why I had to give her a pineapple as a present, you see.
That was clever. Yeah.
I thought so. One of my best pranks, actually.
never had a pineapple, but they look really good. Like, I've seen them around, and, like, I accept that as a present, so.
It's more that she didn't have a way to open it, Kaz. It was meant to...
She's gotta...
But what do you
Yeah.
expect me to do about it, though?
Sorry?
Huh? Pineapple?
Alexa, are you okay?
I don't know. Everything turned to ash. I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
Any amount of context?
I got mad and I asked La Chanson what I'm supposed to do, and it showed me everything falling apart. And withering and dying and pain. On a mountain that is not a mountain, it's a volcano.
The one where we're going, or...
I guess so.
Are you dying as well? Are you...
Me?
in the thing you saw?
I didn't see that.
Is this something you're expected to prevent?
I don't know. Someone poisoned a lake. And they're
Spider
familiar.
very quickly puts down his glass.
Not now. It was after everything crumbled.
So you weren't seeing now?
I mean, no, there's a lot of not what is here. The humans look like halflings.
So you were seeing the past then?
Why?
What did they look like halflings as compared to what, I guess?
That one. Yeah.
I don't know.
So you were just seeing them from a distance.
No, the humans looked like...
Sounds to me like you were seeing the fall of the Giantkin Empire.
But that's happened already.
Does this sound to my soul like the fall of the Giantkin Empire?
Say that again?
Does this sound to my soul like the fall of the Giantkin Empire? Like the way she's referring to these...
Well, the bit about poisoning a lake is not anything you're aware of, but you know, humans at halfling scale to their to who they're in service of, yeah, that would be giants. and everything turning to ash and falling apart is pretty much the way most people would describe the events of the collapse.
Did the mountain erupt back then?
On a 1,000-year time scale, volcanoes don't stop erupting on geologic time scales. They stop erupting on human time scales. So from Meisel's perspective, it's always been a volcano.
Yeah.
It's just off for 50 to 100 years at a go. Just long enough for someone to forget the fact that it does that periodically.
Probably more like, was there like a notable eruption during that time?
No. In fact, during the fall of the Empire, it was silent. It was dormant during the fall of the Empire. Meisel would know that. No roll required.
I mean, the way you're phrasing it does... in general, it is obviously reminiscent of the fall of the Giant Kin Empire, but... Well, the volcano didn't erupt then.
That was the bit that gave it to me, Dan.
Well, I mean,
honestly, clever.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't see any giants.
No.
Giant kin.
No?
But they did appear like halflings to your perspective, so potentially you were seeing the perspective of a giant?
Maybe.
No offense to your song, Alexandria, but that doesn't sound like much of an answer.
That's why I got angry again.
It's understandable.
Yeah, I'm just double checking something, and yeah, no, I've got it right. Yeah, that's correct. So.
No context.
No, just the bit with the volcano. Yeah, it erupts for about 50 years ago, and then lays dormant on average for about 200 years, and then goes through another 50 years of earthquakes and eruptions of various sizes. So yeah, I was just double checking that I hadn't said something wrong as pertained to that, because it does actually make a difference. So yeah.
Maybe La Chanson is giant kin. Then.
All the way to tell you about it.
Seems strange that they would contract Hio if that were the case.
Well, I mean, the giant kin weren't just some... I mean, overall, if you're talking about the giant kin, yeah, but we're talking about individual in this case. And they're not the same as... They're not necessarily going to follow a stereotype.
Right.
Meisel try to do some rough maths. If
Sure.
it's like 5,200, 5,200.
Mm-hmm.
And be like, so that should be roughly... Like, he's not good at tracking time passively, but he's rather... He is very intelligent, so...
Yeah.
I don't know. Might as well try. Like a learning roll, I guess?
Yep. Logic, actually. Logic roll. You're not trying to recall existing information, you're trying to work backwards based on scraps of information you have.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Maybe I'm a giant.
Plot twist.
Plot twist.
That would be a 14.
A 14. All right, so, sort of the mental equivalent of back of the envelope. suggests to you two things which are kind of interesting. Just 1 second, just double checking a date before I open my mouth because I don't want to get it because I don't want to sort of steer you folk wrong. Yeah. The last eruption started about the time the Anvilheart Company were off in search of adventure. And then if you work backwards from that point, then there would have been another eruption that started within half a century. Again, because there's all of the dates of the fall of the Empire are ish, right? Each of the cultures records that chain of events differently based on the start of their own record keeping. So there's an ish factor. But if you sort of average out the ishes, then yeah, within 25 to 50 years of the fall of the Empire, then the Sky Anvil Mountain would have started. Would have started on an eruption.
So the last eruption was roughly when the Sky was the Anvil.
Well, yeah. I was just gonna say, yeah. So it's said again. About 50 years ago, it started its latest. Yes, it began its latest eruption.
Okay.
And then if you walk back, so it actually should be, again, averages, right? Because you cannot set clocks by volcanoes. No. Sometime in the next half a decade, you'd expect the current temper tantrum it's throwing to dry up, and then for it to just sit quietly again for the next 200 years. But if you sort of walk backwards through time at that indication, there would have been, right around the end of the Empire, there would have been another eruption that started.
Yeah, so Michael's doing that in his head, and he's just sort of like, Alexandre? When did you say your grandmere was adventuring?
About 50 years ago.
Okay. That's interesting.
Why?
So, if I, just try to quickly work it out. I would say the last time that it erupted was probably around 50 years ago.
Okay.
And that when it starts erupting, it's generally active for about 50 years, give or take.
Okay.
So potentially we're talking about the last time it erupted was when your grandmere may have been in the area, and we're potentially due to, for one, now on the tail end of that active period. And then working back, I would also say that while there wasn't an eruption that kind of marked the end of the Giant Kin Empire, there was one probably about 25-ish years after it fell.
Okay. So
get a sense of a timeline of if you were seeing it erupting, some important ones that it might have been.
Okay. So Kazra?
Yeah?
Can you keep us safe from an erupting volcano? I'm just asking. It's not a requirement. I'm just curious.
Asking for a friend.
I've never been around an erupting volcano before, but I guess we could stay above it. You'd be pretty safe in the
of an erupting volcano.
Coach, but yeah, I've never done it before. But hey, sure, I can give it a try. That one's a new one. That's a new one.
I mean, it is La Chanson du Monde. That does make sense. I mean, its full name is The Song of the World, so maybe just being the Song of the World, it's like, hey, I gotta spit at someone.
Think the volcano might be the song.
That's something.
Does that mean it got really pissed off at Grommer and decided to just blow its top?
It's possible.
And
At the end, I saw people in a cart leaving while it erupted. But I don't know who it was.
The cart was on the ground.
I don't. Was the cart on the ground? Yeah, it was horse and cart.
Yeah, it was just
Okay.
it was your typical two horses and a Conestoga, one of the big heavy quote adventuring carts that you'd expect for it to be anyone delving deep into the plains would want to use, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you can't go by air, that is the preferred way of going by land,
Yeah.
particularly at about the time, the full 60 were not there.
Yes, they were very much not there.
Hard to fly through ash.
Fly, you're a different plane at the time.
You couldn't help
I
it.
mean,
Or
awkward.
that also. Or that also.
So, well, now I still don't know what I'm supposed to do, but now I'm a little bit more afraid of it. So that's one way to make me do something, I guess.
Fear is a great motivator.
No, I think it's an awful one. Because I want to do it even less, because what if I cause it?
Oh yes, I mean, unspecific fear is not really very useful.
Why does it
Intention
feel
was
like you...
to show you what was at stake.
But in which direction? Which is the bad thing to it?
Yeah, leaving that part out wasn't very useful.
You guys, usually start all your adventures acquiring a lot of problems and not answering many of the questions, and there's just more questions now, it seems like.
Yep, that's pretty accurate.
It's pretty much how it goes. Okay, that's good. And you're right on track?
It's kind of always been my experience, yeah.
I mean, not for want of trying.
I can see that. I can see that. I am just along for the ride.
Maybe you don't want to be. It sounds very dangerous.
It's probably gonna be. I'll be honest with you. Based on what you just told me, it's probably gonna be. Yeah.
There's one thing I've learned about you, Kazuri, in our very short acquaintance, is that you have no lack of confidence.
I got nothing else to do and nothing else to lose. Let's go. Not go. We can finish our kebabs first. I just meant...
Family?
I'm not gonna leave you guys. Huh?
You said nothing to lose. What about your family?
They'll be fine. They're not involved. They're not... I don't know what I do. Not that I do anything bad. It's just... safer if they don't know. You guys tell your families everything you do? I'm betting not.
No.
My only family was here, but now he's not. So.
Statue. Right.
No, my brother. You. What?
Oh. Right. The other guy.
To be fair,
right.
he did look a lot like Lucas Senior.
Maisel goes to answer and then thinks better of it.
Found family is also good. You guys also don't tell each other everything, it sounds like. So, yeah, that's my point, really.
I mean, ouch.
Shall we? Given that we can't make
hurts.
contact with Maisel's friends today, shall we make our way back to the clock and see if we can meet the proprietors?
Mm-hmm.
Probably for the best.
Alexandria,
Mm-hmm.
everything's gonna be okay.
I always think you're lying.
Aside from Lucas, I've told you more truth than anyone I know.
I think that is an excellent line to end on.
Oh, it's that time. Oh man, time
Yeah.
goes so fast.
We're within 10 minutes of wrap, and I think that is just such a fantastically poignant moment that it's an excellent place to end it for tonight.
Indeed.
Yeah, fantastic tonight, all of you. I hope you enjoyed the little side trip. Yeah, we'll see what happens next week.
The side trip? What's the side trip?
The side trip, you know, the little vision quest you just had.
Oh, my vision quest. My vision
Yeah.
quest that I don't know what I'm questing for, and I didn't quest.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you did request.
I requested. I did not quest.
Quest. Explore.
Last week, that's what Maisel kind of did, and then this week we got answers for that. So who knows what happens next week?
I'm afraid.
True.
Yeah, I'm just going to say the group is finally starting to get answers, and they don't like any of them.
I'm in danger.
No.
Wait.
Danger.
The moment we get a point of experience, Maisel can have a chat with Shigauza wherever she might be. So who knows?
Which reminds me, ladies and gentlemen, as of right now, at a point of experience.
Level 5. We're rich, and I'm
We're
even
rich.
faster.
Even faster. Speedy.
I'm rich in experience.
I'm rich and
All right,
roomy.
so that gets you guys up to 12 experience, is it? What are you at now?
12, yeah.
Yeah, it gets
Yeah,
us
it is
to
12,
Just-
so that's
just
12
yeah,
and
level
level 5.
5.
Yep, that's just making sure my record keeping's matching. All right, so yeah, congratulations.
Nice.
All it took was a whole lot of trauma.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I forgot that we have abilities and things to use. That's it. We didn't meet anyone, so I couldn't really get secrets out of people.
Yeah.
Oh, here's one for you, Michelle. I want to use Observant to find out the secret recipe to these awesome kebabs.
Sure thing. The answer is don't ask what it is that he's got on the meat skewer. No, I mean, it's actually the fact that you literally got an international mix of spices. He's got stuff from literally everywhere and is blending it in remarkably, for lack of a better way of putting it, non-standard ways. So it's all about the kebabs themselves are actually quite plain. It's all about the sauces.
It's all about the
Yep.
sauces. Yeah.
Gotta spice it right.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna hit a button.
Yeah,
You're gonna
that was
hit
a
a
really
button?
good sesh.
I hit a button, and
Goodbye,
we will
everybody.
see you next week.
Good night, folks. Thanks very much for joining us. Bye-bye.